Birds of Prey issue 28, Legacy number 226, Kelly Thompson writing with SAMI BASRI on the art. And this is the final issue of the current Birds of Prey series, sadly. Although it does say at the end for now, question mark. Now, sometimes they put that in just as a kind of, like, hopeful thing, but part of me is just wanting to, like, have the copium of being like, oh, I wonder if they've already got something planned for down the line.
I will say that it feels like the legs are taking out a little bit too early, but at least Kelly Thompson's good enough of a writer to spin it out in that way, where it makes it feel like, hey, this version of the birds didn't quite work out. We kind of need to retool it. So the fact that she makes it like a kind of almost a story point at the end, I really appreciate.
Yeah, I mean, I like kind of the final beats that she plays it out on. And I like Barda saying, oh, we'll call this the Barda era. And then they all kind of go, ah. And then she's like, okay, Barda and Little Bat era. And I like that because they are the new well, I mean, so is Sin as well, to be fair. But, you know, obviously, Babs and you know, Dinah, they're always there, right? They're the birds. They're the core constants. They're the core birds. So obviously, yes, if anyone's going to call this anything other than the Kelly Thompson era, they're going to call it the Barda and, you know, Little Bat era. So
yeah, it was exactly what I would call it. It was like, oh, that's when Barda and Cass were on the team.
Yes.
Right. And so the fact that she points that out too, I appreciate.
Yeah. But there's also a lot of talk about how, okay, we're disbanding the team for now, but it's not permanent. Don't get too used to retirement. And then it says the end for now. It makes me think that there is maybe some kind of loose plan for maybe, if not a Birds of Prey follow-up, then some other book from Kelly Thompson that maybe has some of these characters in it or something, you know?
The way that she leads into the Oracle, right, where Babs brings up, as long as the Oracle files are around, that's always going to make us a target. So, like, I'm almost wondering if, like, a new kind of Birds of Prey, almost like a more traditional organization, you know, almost like an intel gathering kind of deal. Like, I don't want to say checkmate, but that's the only reference kind of that I have, almost like a street level of that. You know what I mean? Where she'll have these agents that are Birds of Prey, you know, but it won't be called that or whatever. You know, but yeah, the for now, I also, like you said, the whole copium of it, I was like, oh yeah, Kelly Thompson will bring them back. We'll see them in like a Black Canary book or something.
Yeah,
you know,
it feels like it feels like it's not ending on a sour note, which is nice. I mean, having said that, I will say this last arc is probably the weakest of the book. And I think part of that may just be having to rush to the finish. Like, you know, as this plot's playing out, right? Because the last issue ended with a cliffhanger, Sin getting shot, falling off the building. Megara basically just soups up and, like, saves her, and then gets really pissed and starts attacking all the people that were attacking them. And the birds are like, hey, Megara, those are innocent people who are being controlled by the game / the gas. Let's not hurt them. And that's kind of the big thing throughout a lot of this, is that we can't just punch these people because they're innocent and they don't know what they're doing. So that's the big thing. And at one point, Dinah decides to go back to her regular outfit, even though she's technically only just virtualizing it with the fancy AR
she's still
suit.
Unreality.
Yeah. Which, honestly, that's still a sticking point for me, is I'm not really sure how much we needed all this unreality stuff in this arc.
No, I definitely feel like it was building to something bigger with the whole... The creator of it looking for her sister that went through the seam, right? And just some of the other stuff that's popping up, because we also don't really get a good wrap up for that, or for Sella, the lady from the, you know, the reality hopper.
It feels that there was meant to be more there, and maybe that's the sort of thing that Kelly Thompson will come back to in some other follow-up book of some kind, whether it's a new Birds of Prey book or... Because maybe the reason, I mean, we don't know for sure, right? We have no idea what the reason was specifically for them wanting to end the book. But it may not be as simple as, oh, book is not selling enough, we're ending it, and that's why we're ending it. It could actually be that, oh, no, there's something coming up in an event or some other book where this character needs to be taken off the table for a while. Either, you know, Black Canary is not going to be available for a year, so this has to end, or maybe whoever it is, you know, whatever character it might be on the team, maybe multiple characters.
And it feels like there are multiple threads, and it could be any of them, you know, whether it was Cass or Barda or Dinah, right? Any of the main four, I would say, including Babs. for that. But yeah, it felt like there was a good amount of setup for this unreality thing and the seam, and it kind of just gets dropped to wrap things up as quick as possible.
Yeah, and so I'm just saying that I think maybe the reason why they ended the book is maybe more to do with them wanting one or two of the characters to be tied up in something else for a while, and maybe like there'll be some sort of follow-up after that's over, or whatever the case may be. I don't know. Again, maybe that's just copium, but it does kind of feel like there's all these threads that could be come back to if they want to. The actual conflict, them actually fighting, you know, like Barda becoming kaiju sized, like, yeah, it's fun for what it is. But all of this stuff where we're doing the unreality and these people are all in a game and they don't know what they're doing, I'm like, okay, this is okay, but it does feel like we're kind of rushing through it, and I don't know if I'm feeling quite the weight of it as much as I would.
Well, and even the reveal with Babs and Ink and Damon Prime, that fell flat for me. You know, where Ink does a double betrayal and saves Babs from being shot, you know, and I was just like, this isn't fulfilling for as a story point.
Well, the funny thing is that I said last time that this has to be a plan where Ink's working with Babs still for it to make sense, and it turned out to be true. But the way they played it was that Babs still wasn't 100% sure that she would go along with it, so she had like a backup plan in case Ink still betrayed her. And I was like, okay, this makes sense, but again, I think it's just hurting a little bit because of how like quick they're having to rush through it, because we have to just end the issue here. Like, would it really have been a big deal for DC to give them like 2 more issues just to like let the arc breathe a little bit?
No, a nice 30, right?
Yeah.
So
that's all. Just a couple more issues.
It would have been nice. I think we also would have gotten a lot more clarity on the unreality and the gas, because it still felt like it was needlessly elaborate.
Yeah.
You know, and that, although we did get some good Barda quips out of that, where they're talking about the gas, and Dinah, because of this gas that makes people more aggressive, she's starting to like not make the right decisions, you know, and is fearful she's going to hurt these people that are just people, and she can't think clearly. And Barda lets it know that she held her breath, so she didn't breathe in this gas. And Dinah's like, "Oh, so you're just doing all this for fun?" And Barda's like, "Yeah." You know, I thought that was a lot of fun.
Well, my
my
favorite bit of narration from that was her just in her head going, "Mr. Miracle's a brave man," like after she said something like that.
Absolutely. That, and then Barda goes, "I have an idea." And then when you see her next, she's kaiju sized. And through this unreality, that's how, you know, she becomes the big focal point for all these people, you know, and as she's a tank, right? So like in gaming or whatever, you know, she's designed to take the amounts of hits. She literally becomes a tank in this virtual game, you know, and I thought that was a lot of fun as well. So that's probably what I'm going to miss the most with that is Kelly Thompson's Barda. Like, this has been a bright spot in the book. So, you know.
Yeah, honestly though, Barda getting big did raise some questions for me about how how does that physically work? Like, I get the costumes looking different, but how do you simulate the size being bigger? I don't know, like...
It's a great question that I don't think about too hard.
Yeah.
Or it's gonna drive me nuts.
Yeah, and but that's just kind of the feeling I've had about all of this, like this video game thing that they've been doing for the last few issues. All of this felt a little bit weird, and like it's not quite clicking with me exactly what the point of it is.
Yeah.
So, you know, this last arc felt a bit strange. I did like the last like 3 or 4 pages where they, you know, disband the team and talk about you know, everything, and like the characters all going off to bond with each other, and Dinah calls Ollie, and you know, maybe they've got plans for a Black Canary book, maybe they've got plans for, you know, Babs and something, who knows. But regardless, like, this has been a very good run. It's been a very pleasant, enjoyable read. The characters are so fun. Obviously Barda and Cass have been the highlights, but everyone's been good. And I think it's just this last arc has felt a bit weaker because it's had to rush to a finish. So
yeah, for sure, definitely more highs than lows when it's come to Kelly Thompson's Birds of Prey. You know, so, but yeah, it just kind of ends with a whimper, and that's sad. That bums me out, because we know what Kelly Thompson's capable of. Yeah, because it definitely feels up there in the pantheon up until this last arc with her, you know, Hawkeye, West Coast Avengers, like that style of book. I would put it up there, the X-23 Wolverine stuff. You know, so it's just a bummer, but I'm curious to see what she has up there, because
that's why I say, like, would it really have been a big deal just to give her a couple more issues, just to
right?
Just to not rush the arc. Like, just let her say, hey, you've got, X number of issues left. It kind of felt like maybe she found out a little late to really, deal with it as best she could. So,
yeah.
Hey, it is what it is. All right, Matt, what are you giving Birds of Prey?
I'm going to give this a very generous 8.
That is generous. I'm going to go 6.5. There
you go.
So, which is to say, it's verging on good. There's just I think enough issues in the story here. I do like how it ends though, and I'm hoping for more, a return to these characters in the not too distant future. That would be lovely. Or at the very least, put Kelly Thompson on something else. Obviously, we have Absolute Wonder Woman, and I know she's busy with the new Buffy and Angel comic that's coming soon, so maybe she's not got time, but hopefully she gets another DC book before too long.